Hi everybody, this is Alice Bejeweled Hedgehog. Um, I'm at vlog 20 something, I think. Um, anyway, not much to say. Very tired. I'm going to go to bed very, very soon. Enjoying the nice touch of chill in the air with, I consider this now the final fling of crochet accessories. So I've got my spring hat on. Um, oh, I wanted to show you my tulips. The tulips I bought yesterday for Easter. I can't really tip it over too much because, then the water will spill out of the jar. But they are so beautiful, just so gorgeous. I love the touches of yellow around the top. Um, Not really much to say. Re-entered the world today. It is Monday. Um, really tireder than I expected. I think it's funny because I always try and ignore bad things. Well, not ignore them, but, try and just wish them away. So the entire time I was sick last week, I kept thinking, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad. It'll go away. And it really didn't. I really think I had a short-lived but nasty little flu with all those fevers and chills. So anyway, yes, I am back up and up and about, but I'm tired. So, still kind of, downgrading my expectations. Have not yet dropped off my niece's blanket or my sister's hat. That'll happen maybe tomorrow, but I'm not going to stress about it. It might happen later in the week. Oh, the book club. I will put the Facebook link down below. I think that we should just go ahead and do a count of everybody who's on there, maybe in a couple of days when Bruno is back up and about. And, say, okay, this is it. Let's just submit our titles, and then we can either I don't know. I mean, it's a randomizing or doing a poll, like, for the crochet along. Anyhow, your choices are as good as mine. I guess go to the Facebook link and post what you think. That rhymed. Was that my poem for Poetry Month? Link and think. Now that's pretty pitiful if that's my Poetry Month poem. But anyhow, I had kind of wanted to talk about something, but I'm tired and I don't know if I feel like tackling it. Oh, I guess I will. I am weird. A lot of people have been talking about relationships in their vlogs, how they're not with somebody and they wish they were. And I am not with anybody, and I am so relieved. I really don't know. Well, growing up, I was not the world's happiest little camper. We were not there was nothing terrible about my family, except that, of course, my parents hated each other and none of us were really particularly close except my sister and I. And of course, we had some extended family who had some pretty outrageous antics. But anyhow, I don't know, the reason, I've always had this underlying feeling of genuine relief and joy when I don't have any obligations or commitments to another person. And when I think of all the men I've dated, the two biggest events come to mind. One has nothing to do with a date at all. And okay, I'll start with the first one. When I was in my mid-20s, working at my first, real job, I had a boyfriend who was very outgoing. He was like the vacation tour package. He came with active social life, large group of friends, places to go and see and do all the time. And so I really liked that. Made life easy. I was actually very shy, and all I had to do was smile a lot and laugh, and all the social awkwardness was taken care of. And I remember, this is pre-cell phone day, you understand, so I called him at lunchtime, and he wasn't feeling too well. And then I called him, right before I left work, and he was just going to go straight home and go to bed. And, at lunchtime he had thought, maybe we'd rent a video and just stay in. And then, that he had canceled that evening. And I remember just, thinking, okay, I'll go rent a video myself, plodding right into the video store. I think this was back in the days where you still had beta on one half and VHS on the other, okay? And I just remember walking in the store, and then, I don't know how to describe it. It was like I grew wings, the universe flipped, everything just started to glow with this bright light. This was one of these moments that you could almost describe as spiritual, except it wasn't. It was this feeling of, I am so free. I could pick any video in the world. There's no compromising. There's no, I don't really like that kind of movie. Oh, well, I wanted to see this one. I don't like that actress. I don't like that actor. Oh, well, if we invite such and so over, then she doesn't really like, it's like, me, and nobody else. I was dizzy with the infinite possibilities. And then I had this other thought, which was just so overwhelming, I thought my head was going to explode, and it was, I don't even have to watch a video. I could go anywhere. I could literally fill my car with gas and drive until I had driven enough hours to realize that I wouldn't get back in time for work the next morning, drive back, right back to the parking lot, and start all over again. It was like no controls, no constraints, no expectations, no nothing. It felt so good. I think what I ended up doing was renting Mary Poppins, because, I don't think he liked musicals and he didn't like kid vids. And I just had a ball watching exactly what I had wanted to watch at that moment. And if I had been more in touch with myself, I think something might have told me that maybe I am sort of a very independently minded person. And then the other time when I have had that, almost like, you read a science fiction novel about multi-dimensions, and, every choice creates a new universe. So there's an infinite number of universes. This doesn't have to do with a date. This has to do with how weird I am. Same job, roughly same time, scheduled a dentist appointment, talked to my boss, and we figured out, it shouldn't take more than 2 hours. I won't bother to take any leave. I'll just, stay late an evening or two. So off to the dentist's office. Get to the dentist's office. There's a patient there, an emergency patient, all swollen, all in pain. And so, of course, they asked if they could reschedule me. I was just a routine cleaning. And so I said yes, and they're like, okay. And I walked out of the office. Okay, don't have dentist appointment, time to go back to work. Probably should pick up something for lunch. And then it hit me. It was like there was a crack in the universe and I had dropped through it. It was like it had split. There was the people in the office put Alice in the dentist's office because that's the slot that Alice was in, out of office and dentist office. The dentist office people put Alice in slot of rescheduled, went back to starting point. But Alice didn't have to, because the work people weren't expecting me back for, I couldn't stay away all day, but I had a little under 2 hours. And the idea, again, it was just this strange fluke. This time was totally mine. No requirements, no obligations, no expectations, nowhere to be, nothing. I could go to the mall, buy a totally different outfit from anything I'd ever worn. I could speak with a funny accent and tell an unusual backstory about myself. I didn't, because I really didn't have enough time. I kind of worked in an office park area that wasn't real close into anything. So all that amazing time was spent eating at Burger King. And then I think, going to, I remember, some store for some errand that I needed, but it was just the coolest feeling. It was like somebody had snipped my strings and I was a balloon. So anyhow, back to relationships. I guess at one point I had said I'll answer some questions that people frequently ask me, one of which is, how come I'm still single? Am I looking? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I feel kind of guilty. I feel kind of embarrassed. But I'm not. Now, if I did not have the nieces, And if I couldn't spend this much time with my sister. If I didn't have the nieces, I think I might get lonelier. But it seems like now, like I don't have enough time for everything I want to do. And I'm always tired, always running behind. And I try and picture an addition to my life in the form of another person. And then I try and picture the awkwardness that would make. Going in, my niece Raph likes to have sleepovers where I stay over on a weekend, like Saturday night, and get up and do something with her, or any of them, on Sunday. And, I guess I could still do that, but, I was not the easiest person to date. I will tell you that from the very start. I have suffered from depression on and off throughout my life. And if you listen to a lot of the popular music and all the songs and read the romantic books and see the romantic movies, it always gives you the impression that there's this one magic person out there that will make your life, make everything good. But unless that magic person is a psychiatrist with an arsenal of pills, they really cannot cure your depression if you're clinically depressed. So one of the problems I had when I was dating is I would meet some guy and everything would be all the hyped up, all the magic. But all the things that the pop songs were promising were not happening. You make me complete, or whatever. Well, I wasn't complete. I still felt like crap down, underneath. And it took me a long time. It really wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I started getting therapy and getting medication and got to the point where I was realizing that, of course, it's not the guy's fault. I mean, true, I picked some real losers, but I also picked some fairly nice guys, and actually some, nice guys, and just expected them to do the impossible. And then what else? I always have been, I guess, surprisingly comfortable on my own. I like to do things with other people if it's something that they like. For instance, if I have a friend that I know loves to read, I will call her and say, let's go, book browsing on Saturday afternoon. I had a friend who sadly moved away, and she and I would get up before the birds even started to sing on weekends, and we'd map out yard sales and go to yard sales together. So I like to have a shared interest with other people, but I am also quite comfortable doing things on my own, and I would rather do it on my own than do it with somebody who does not like that particular thing. And I know a surprising number of people who will invite me shopping. I don't mean book shopping or, thrift store shopping, something that I like. They will want me to go to the mall with them because they want shoes. And I keep thinking, but do you know me? I mean, I don't like the mall. I just don't tend to go. I mean, and when I buy shoes, I'm very single-minded. I have a couple of places that I know carry shoes and brands that fit, and I go and I look. I can usually find something nice, I buy it, and I leave. My sister and I, as close as we are, do not shop together because we make each other nuts. If I need a navy skirt, I will go, to the mall I usually go to Target first because there's one that's so close and convenient, but if they don't have, the particular item I'm looking for, let's say a navy skirt, I will go to the mall and I'll start with the stores I'm familiar with, and first navy skirt that I come to that is reasonably priced, fits, and looks fine, I just buy it. Navy skirt, tick in the box, throw that part of the list away. My sister, on the other hand, is on the quest for the perfect navy skirt. She will go to every store in that mall, try on every navy skirt that she thinks could potentially fit her, look at the variances between two different shades of navy, put a whole bunch of things on hold until the close of the business day, and then she may or may not find out if it can be returned, buy it, bring it home, at which point you would think it would be done. But the next day she'll go to a different mall or go online. I'm like, for goodness sakes, it's a navy skirt, let it go. But anyway, I don't know how we got on that topic. Oh, so I have never been good at the concept of my office is having a party, you're my girlfriend, you have to come. I'm like, huh? Why? I don't know anybody he works with. They don't know me. And I'm going to stand there where the group of people who work together, whether they like each other or not, at least have shared experiences to talk about, and all the spouses or significant others stand there bored to tears, smiling, politely, and occasionally hit it off with, somebody hits it off with someone. Anyhow, I'm just not good at that whole thing. And the funniest thing is, I don't know. I always did like to spend a lot of time on my own. So I know it's funny because I'm the meddling old lady that likes to give people more advice than they could ever want. But when it comes to a relationship, I'm really not that good at it because I just don't really want one. I do know that I am very pleased with being an auntie. I mean, that was the first relationship by choice, because you're an auntie by default if a brother or sister has children. But when my sister had her first baby, I was stunned. I mean, I was just drawn to that funny little critter from the moment I saw her in the hospital. And I really love being an auntie. Being an auntie has given me so much self-confidence, made me feel so good about many things, including myself. And that really is the relationship that I have, that I just take, I don't know, I'm amazed at people who can be, wives and mothers and aunties and, well, all it takes to be a good coworker, in my opinion, is being polite and just not strangling the idiots. That's a big workplace tip. Don't strangle the idiots. You'll go to jail, and more likely than not, the idiots will survive. I'm sorry, that wasn't very nice. Okay, this is not terribly coherent. But anyway, I guess why I'm single, I just don't feel like I have the time. I have terrible body image issues. Whenever I dated, I had to, go back down to, I don't know what an ideal weight was because I never really had one. Go back down to as thin as I could potentially tolerate. I always felt that I had to do the full makeup, never let my eyebrows get shaggy, had them done all the time, was always worrying, was there a cuticle that was raggy? Just in intensive amounts of grooming, intensive amounts of worry. Some people like flirting, they like that interplay. It makes me so nervous and so awkward that I really don't feel, when I realized I had gained weight and look like, well, basically like this, which is not my image of myself, suddenly people started dealing with me in a completely different way. They started dealing with me kind of, I guess, as an auntie, as that whole flirtatious, attractive, sizing you up game kind of stopped, and I liked it. It took so much pressure off me. I mean, my first response was, oh my gosh, I've gotten so fat, I've let myself get so dowdy, nobody, looks at me anymore. And then, this is going to sound weird, but in that time period, I have become happier, more self-confident, and more outgoing. I know, I'm a basket case. Once I stopped all that worrying, once I stopped all that, do I measure up, do I not measure up, blah, 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 it just all went away. And I would say that now, I am probably over these past 15 years, I am a much more outgoing, and I know, how can you be outgoing and reclusive at the same time? I guess when I am out in public, I am very friendly. I mean, I will strike up conversations with people. I have no fear of complimenting people or asking them a question about something, which I didn't when I was younger. I don't know, I'm just strange. Once I stepped out of the game, so to speak, the whole world opened up to me. I'm just so much more comfortable with the way I am now. Even when I lose weight, and even if I actually get back to wearing contacts more frequently and doing more with myself, I just feel so relaxed. I don't ever want to go back to that the way I was before. So anyway, I am weird. Maybe there's somebody else, other people. I don't mean somebody else like the one. I mean other people who listen to this and, gain some insight into somebody that they hang around with and can't figure out. Maybe this gives them a clue. Maybe they're like me and now they don't feel so weird and alone. I honestly don't know, but I'm just putting myself out there. Take it or leave it. I don't know if I said this already because I've talked for so long, but sorry I haven't responded to comments. I'm working on it. My energy is down around my ankles. I have to be careful I don't trip over it on my way to bed. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. Bye.